Man, those sounds are getting closer and closer as the roars of summer are getting towards us. What's going on, everybody? Episode number 17, Motorsports Almanac Live. Shane, Wyatt, and Charles, as always. And our first guest, we're off the bat, Mr. Dustin Smith, Wyatt's cousin's fiance. Cousin. Okay. Gotcha. But, yeah, he's here joining us. We're going to jump right in with him really quick, go over the Nippy 50. It happened this past weekend in Iowa, inaugural event. Dustin, it's all yours, buddy.
Well, this past weekend, the Nippy 50 at Maquoketa Speedway was actually a great show. Ricky Thornton ended up picking up the win for the open late models, and Dylan Thornton won the IMCA modifieds. And this so happened to be Wyatt's first ever dirt modified show. So, yeah. And late model. So what'd you think?
And I went with a couple buddies from high school, and they had told me for years that I need to go see late models. I need to go see mods in person, which I know you're unmodified, but they said you need to see late models in person. And no straight cars sucks, but still. The thing I was most impressed and the thing I was paying attention to the most is the crowd experience and what they see the most. And it's a lot of interaction. And it's a lot of constant action too. And I found that pretty cool. Like on the polling side of where we come from, there's a lot of downtime in between hooks. And then you got 15 seconds of action and then downtime. This never stops unless, a wreck or something happens. But I was impressed with the crowd. The crowd was into it for being an inaugural event that, big, it was pretty good money to win late models. It was pretty impressive for being an inaugural event and getting big names like Bobby Pierce and Ricky Thornton for late models. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, there was a ton of good cars there than anyone could have won in the top 10 of either class. I know the Sport Mods joined on Saturday, and Jarrett Franzen won that. But my experience with it is I run IMCA modified myself, and I've been around racing for my entire life. I'm 30, so I've been around it for 29 years. So my input's pretty good on it. And everything you just said there, it's every bit of that and then some. And most nights there's about 7 classes, that not just 3. So right. It's pretty crazy. It's an awesome event.
And I will say, racing fans, when it comes to dirt or drag, even if it's cold, they show up.
Yeah,
those stands were packed. And I know there's in that on flow racing side of it, or in the videos I caught, you couldn't really see much of the crowd from videos they caught. But if you look from the pits to the stands, they were 90 to 95% full the entire night.
And being that cold, that's awesome. That's a great turnout because when it's that cold, promoters really rely on stands and stuff like that because of especially on them high purse events. So the modifieds that second night was $2,500 to win, and the late models was $20,000 to win and $2,000 to start. And so when you're paying that big of a purse, you really count on some stands to come in, and it really turned out really well, even for as cold as it was.
Yeah. The pits were full. The concessions back there, there was a line the entire time. You go up there, you sit in line for at least 10 minutes each time you go up. If you're trying to get drinks, food, some people getting beer, no matter what it was. And the merchandise those lines were full the entire night too.
So, yeah.
I'm curious, how does the merchandise work at a dirt race compared to what we do with pulling and stuff? Because it's been a really, really long time since I've been to a dirt race.
The merchandise part, 90% of the time. So your average races, them you would have to go to the trailers in the pits, and each individual driver usually has some kind of apparel that they would sell. But these big shows like Ricky Thornton Jr., Bobby Pierce, all of them have trailers that they bring to the track and sell merchandise from. And there's even some trailers that combine different drivers as well. Like when you follow the big series, there's a Lucas Oil trailer that shows up, and they have like a little bit of everyone's shirts on it, and that's kind of how that works. How's it work for you guys?
Just kind of depends. Some guys will have them in there, some guys won't. They'll have them at their trailers.
Very hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, extremely.
It's the big shows, and it's going to be Toma, Chapel Hill if you're lucky. Bowling Green's got a good following. I've seen a couple people set up stands or tables, and certain places might have a trailer here. It's nothing like a race.
Some of the vendors that produce the shirts are getting better about stocking the ones that they've actually worked on or designed. And so if they're there on the vendor midway, you have a selection of maybe a dozen or so teams you can pick from, but for the rest of them, it's going to be just like being at a dirt race. You're going to have to go holler to holler and see who's got what, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a couple of pullers have brought up to me the idea of like having a traveling trailer to these big shows to sell merchandise out for the pullers. I think it would do well at your big shows like your Rockwells, your Tomas, your Bowling Greens. I think it'd do well.
I think it absolutely would do well, because a lot of times if they don't see that there's merchandise available, they're not going to ask. So
Right.
if they see something, a trailer, a booth, a table, it doesn't matter what it is. If they see something's available, they're going to ask about it, and they're going to go up to it, and they want to buy it. They want to have some. It doesn't matter if it's free or if you have to buy it. It's kids up to adults want to have something to take home with them.
Yeah. I've run into situations as well, though, where you go past somebody's race hauler and they got a couple of shirts or a hoodie or whatever hanging on a hanger out the back. They're advertising they're selling it, but there's nobody around. There's nobody at the hauler. You'll go back 4 times and never catch them there. It's like, well, I guess I'm not getting that.
Yeah, that one thing about dirt racing is everyone's at their trailer. I mean, that's where you work. They have open guys usually have like qualifying heats, features, and then us at the local level, it's usually just hot laps, heats, and features. But you're always at the trailer working on the car, and then you're working on the car 7 days out of the week. It's you work, race, and work and race.
There, I wanted you to put Russ's comment up there. I think that's where the Midwestern sensibility and politeness actually works against the fan, because I've never, ever had someone turn me away from their hauler, even if they're working. Like they want to engage with people. It's not just because I'm there as the announcer or whatever. I mean, there's events, some of these bigger shows. I don't know everybody. They've never met me. They have no idea who I am when I'm first walking up necessarily, and always polite. It's I think the politeness works against the fan. You need to just ask.
Yeah. Whenever we were up in Indiana, I was kind of go around to a couple of pullers and they're like, oh, we don't have them here, but we'll send them to you whenever we get back.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it just comes down to not having anybody there either that can do that straight up. Because whenever you're there at the event, it's mostly family members and your crew, and they don't want to miss you running. But I think that is something that needs to be, I don't know if addressed is the right word, but that's definitely something that needs some thought put into it.
Well, a lot of times too, I guess I got to take up for the competitors too. A lot of times if they're far from home, it's maybe just them and one crew guy. And like, it's an afterthought at that point. It's not that they don't want to do it. It's just they're, 10 hours from home and trying to make sure that they handle the business that they're there for, and going up and pulling a tub down out of the loft or whatever to grab a shirt for somebody, just really not even a thought in their mind. They don't even remember that it's up there. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Dustin, what were some of your favorite moments from the weekend?
Oh man, the modifieds put on a hell of a show on Friday night and Saturday night. Man, it was a race to the end. Race to the checkered. And Cody Laney on Saturday was my favorite. Cody Laney and Dylan Thornton put on one heck of a show, and they both of them actually run. So my side business is building pull bars for IMCA modifieds and open modifieds and stuff like that. And them guys all have our pull bar on, and watching them two battle it out in front of the field, that was probably my favorite. But man, them late models, man, watching them go around the track, the speed and everything is awesome. And Ricky Thornton, he kind of got out front and does Ricky Thornton Jr. things, just gets out front and sets sail. So that was still awesome to watch.
I will say he took off the corners coming down the straights. He took them well.
He did that back in modifieds. He literally came from nothing and became something. And I love to see that. I really pull for him a lot. I think Wyatt, you can vouch for this, but some of the wrecking didn't, there's a lot less of it than you would imagine in there.
A lot for how close they are, yeah. If for a first time you'd think there'd be a lot more for how close they're running, but those guys, they got a set of cojones on when they get that close. It's like, oh,
yeah.
We never want to try that. I mean, meteorological drivers are about as crazy as they get around us, but sprint car or late model, them boys.
Yeah, John and Ashley took me to a couple polling shows for my first time ever, because growing up around dirt racing, I never went to any tractor pulling, but that was an absolute blast for me being out there. But the racing thing still holds my heart because, well, a lot cheaper than what you guys have to deal with. But still, I mean, even this, you can put in quite a bit of money. You know, it's a rolling chassis is about $40,000-$50,000, but about as much as what your crank is. But
I wouldn't say that. It's still, I will say that the return on investment though is a lot higher in racing than it is pulling.
Yeah.
You get to go out and be on the track a lot longer, provided you don't run into any of the other guys out there who are doing it.
This is true. This is very true. Yeah.
After one weekend, I expect Wyatt is now a thorough chassis expert. He can explain rear steer and set it all up and everything.
Here, I can show you some of that.
Yeah, let's show your car off, bud.
So Dylan's, sorry, not Dylan. Why did I say Dylan?
So that is 4-link suspension. This is here. This is your brake floater, and this is your 4 bars, and then them are the pull bars that we build right there.
If you don't do it now because we're in the middle of the show, but if you ever get an opportunity to go on YouTube and go find one of these cars or late model, go find a GoPro from under the car. It's voodoo stuff going on under there.
Yeah, if you want to show off the wrap, you actually just got it done.
Yeah, man, it looks awesome. I love the colors.
Nice looking car. I like car number 2.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is that intentional, as one would assume?
Yeah.
So you can do some shameless plugging if you want to for the business you do.
Yeah.
Business work for business.
Some of your sponsors, any of that type of stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I got to thank the wife, Ashley. I forget her a couple times through some interviews because I get a little nervous, but I really got to thank her. She puts up with all my crap for all this. And then I got some new sponsors on the car, you know, Mitten Roofing, Jacob, and Duval Financial Group, Affordable Parking Lot Services, Orion Tire, Jason Bell Race Car Parts, Scott and Dana Bowles, Inco Auto Sales, Slick Sticks Shocks, and you know, Razor Chassis. They build an awesome car that I get to drive. And that's about the extent of it. But you know, everyone that helps out, my dad and my entire family, and this is truly a family sport, and you gotta put your heart and soul in it, and it takes all of us to do it.
One thing before you get off, and I never got the full extent explanation of this. What's the race that you're going to be doing in June?
Oh, there's $100,000 to win modified race, and all the best guys in the country. I mean, you're even going to have guys from the late model world running in this, and it's up at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, and it's in Wisconsin. It's about 4 or 5 hours from me north, and man, if you guys can make it out to that's going to be the show to be at. There's no bigger race in the country than that for modifieds.
I would say not.
It's the Onum Dirt Modifieds. If you guys want to check them out on Facebook, it's at the end of March, and I'm sorry, end of May. It's the very end of May. It's a Thursday through Saturday show.
Yeah, it's last weekend in May, isn't it? Going in the beginning of June.
Yep.
So
Nice.
and you got like voted in, invited.
Yep. So that not surprising. They only put so many entries, and I think they maxed out in about 6 hours, and on the entry list. And so I wasn't able to get in time. Well, then they did this deal where you could vote people in on Facebook, where you get your week's worth of pit passes and this whole package that you get if you get voted in. So then people voted my name, and you had to be in the top. I think it was like top 5 or so, and I was in the top 5 to get invited to the race.
That's awesome.
Just like what we got for the Polar Championship last year. We got invited this year, so it was cool to see. We're gonna have to try and make it up that weekend because that was cool that you got voted in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome,
You guys can make any race. Just give me a holler, and love to have you guys. It'd be a blast. We'd have some fun.
I see Brent Aaron's watching. I figured that would be up in his neck of the woods, and that he'd be all over it.
Yeah, I think it's just north of La Crosse there, isn't it, Brent? Pretty sure it's just up north there. Because they're trying to get a poll up there for state WTPA.
You said you grew up around it, but how did you start out driving? Have you been in the mods as soon as you were old enough for a license, or what was the progression for you?
Yeah, pretty much. I helped my dad out because he raced for 30-something years now, and he just quit about 4 years ago to help me. And so growing up, I helped him out. We did a lot of racing all over the country, and then I finally started getting old enough. And for my learning process, we would rent a track. He'd practice, and he'd just toss me in it when the track was at the slickest point, and say, "Have fun and go learn." And so, so that's kind of where I started is just in my dad's car, and then my uncle Kelly Meyer, he gave me his old leaf spring car as my first ever modified, and I ran it in sport mod, and started out there. I ran that for about 2 years, but not a lot of nights. Being young and learning, didn't have the budget to race as much as I'd wanted to. But then I bought my first very own modified, and I turned it right into A mod, and started out there, and been racing since I was 18 now. So that's where it all started, and I'm going to continue to do it, and hopefully as long as my dad did.
That's awesome. I got a question that came in. What is your favorite track, and how nervous you were the first time driving?
Ooh.
Davenport after last season.
Yeah. Man, Davenport sure bites me in the butt a lot. I do love that track. But as far as nicest facility I've ever been at, it was this place in Oklahoma. It's Longdale, Oklahoma. And that track, I mean, you didn't hit dirt until you got on the racetrack. It was like all gravel pits, but that real small, that pea gravel. And I got to say, that's probably my most favorite track so far. I haven't traveled and raced a lot. That's the furthest I've ever traveled yet. But I'm looking to do a lot more traveling this year. And then what was the other part of that question?
How nervous were you the first time driving?
First time? Pretty nervous because you don't want to wreck your dad's equipment. But it kind of caught on real quick. I was able to get in it and get going right away. Growing up around it, I'm sure Wyatt, if he's ever been in a pole, growing up pulling like that, he could hop in it. He'll be nervous, but he'll know what to do.
Yeah.
Can't attest to that. It was a little nerve wracking first time, but yep, like you said, you've been around it so long. It's the nerves are there. Once you hear the sound of the engine, get rolling a little bit, starts to roll away.
Yeah.
Yep. I won't lie, I still get nervous.
Aching feeling you get whenever you're in there.
Yep. You still get nervous, especially if you start on the pole and have about 22 other drivers trying to chase you down. That gets a little nerve wracking.
It's like
kind of how we feel whenever we're test hook.
Yeah, you're up there just waiting for the chrome horn to come in.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, man, dirt racing is multi-groove. And I've had it before. I mean, I've had a huge lead running the bottom. The top side took rubber. You can't see it. You just, you're running your lane, you're leading. So, you're always taught, don't move unless someone passes you. And sure enough, it wasn't about 10 laps or about 12, 13 laps in of a 20 lap feature. And there he goes, the freight train right around the outside because it took rubber.
Yeesh.
Yeah. And it's that easy. You can go from leading, and I've seen my dad do it, win multiple times on a last lap pass. My first ever win, I won on a last lap pass. I passed the guy in 1 and 2 and took the checkers off 3 and 4.
I hear that often from a lot of circuit racers that when it's coming down to it, they'd almost every single one of them would say they'd rather be the second place guy.
Absolutely.
You get something on it.
You get a little bit more of control that way, where if you're the leader, you're just kind of open to whatever could happen.
You travel a lot for it, or do you have a weekly series that you're normally racing at during the summer?
Weekly series, being here in Iowa, there's tracks everywhere. You can't go half an hour without hitting 1 or 2 tracks. I run weekly at Davenport Speedway, and then I run on Saturday nights. I ran last year at Burlington, and I'll be doing that again this year. I won track championship there last year, and hoping to do that again. But hoping for a little more luck at Davenport too. And then there's multiple nights I should have won that just something happened and I didn't, where the tire sealed over or stupid mental mistakes or stuff like that. But that's kind of the weekly deal. And then I'm going to travel for that Onum dirt modified race. And then I want to go to some tracks around I like to go to Batesville. I like to go up to oh God, I forgot the name of the track, but 141 Speedway up in Wisconsin. They usually have a 10,000 to win race up there every year. I'd like to travel up to that and kind of see where we go from there.
Good deal.
Been cool to see, man. I'm hoping this year on our side, we can, hit more races, because pulling's fun, but it's also, we need to learn how to get better fan interaction, see what you guys do that we need to do.
Well, this sport, and along with your sport, you guys, what you guys are doing is so cool, because this brings on the other side. Kids, growing up, the phones are everything now. YouTube, Facebook, all that, and for kids to get interested in the sport, which we desperately need. I mean, something like this is exactly what it needs. And really appreciate what you guys do, and thanks a lot for having me on here, and keep this going, because there's a kid out there that might be interested one day.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Dustin.
Amen to that, bud. Well, I know you got to do some work on the car yet, because you're running next week.
Yeah, there's a practice Saturday I'm going to try to make, and we got an engine to put in and a bunch of other stuff to do, so I better get going.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks again for your time, Dustin. That's awesome, man.
No, thanks again, and you guys have a good night.
Much appreciated, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. That was cool.
Yeah, that's a great way to start the show, man. So, fellas, what's new and going on in y'all's world? Anything crazy?
It's about to be.
Oh, yeah.
Just went to my first outdoor at that race, so it's coming quick.
It's my turn this weekend. Of course, talking about the PDRA, Galat Motorsports Park, Benson, North Carolina. Watched the show last night. Tyler Crossnew was making their picks for all the classes over on the PDRA Facebook page. So after the show, go check that out. That was a lot of fun to watch. But this is my first ever drag race. I don't know what to expect, but I'm flying out of here Friday morning. I'll be out there all weekend long. So going to be testing out some new equipment while we're out there too. So that'll be a lot of fun.
You're going to enjoy it. It's a good time.
Yeah.
You guys both had drag races in 2 different locations.
Yep.
Yeah, Charles, you're going down to Florida.
Yep, headed for Orlando Speed World to start the Outlaw Diesel Super Series season. And I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I know there's some guys who are not ready to start the year. So I think the pro class turnout might be a little on the light side, but the sportsman rank should be huge, because it's for ET, really, as long as your battery's tied down and your truck is clean and you got a helmet, that's all the rules. Anybody can run. And this event it's a new race for us, and it's combining with the Florida Truck Meet, which used to be in Daytona all these years until the city fathers ran them out of there. But now they've got the entirety of the property at Orlando to jam their stereos, and there's a burnout pad and do whatever they want to do. Basically raise hell and keep it out of town, keep it on the property, and we're gonna race in the middle of it. So it'll be a good thing.
Yeah. I'm really excited to go out to Galot. I mean, of course, we know about Benton for other reasons, obviously. I don't know what to expect, man. I don't know for speeds and stuff like that. Can y'all kind of help me out on that? Because I know we got sportsmen. I think they said they're expecting over 300 cars to be there.
Probably about right.
Yeah.
Well, obviously your Pro Boost, Pro Nitrous, basically your Pro Mod cars are gonna be your fastest cars. It's gonna be their headliners. Right. It's similar to the World Series of Pro Mod on length of track. They're going to run 8th mile. So more or less Pro Boost, Pro Nitrous guys over that 200 mile an hour mark. Pro Boost guys touching 210 maybe, Charles?
Yeah, probably maybe a little quicker, depending, 210, 212, and the nitrous cars will be a couple miles an hour off of that.
That cooler air is going to favor the turbo cars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some classes.
If they got any, really.
Yeah, I don't know how many realistically show.
They said there should be a few. I think they named one in particular. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, there'll probably be some, but I think you're more likely to run into a turbo Pro out there than you're going to be out in Phoenix this weekend.
That's very true. Yeah, PRA. Obviously, Galot. It's gonna be a great facility to see everything at. Everything's right there on the pavement, so you'll be able to see all the cars there.
Yeah,
Pro Street's a fun class. It's kind of like treat it like it's kind of like a radial class. Pro mods, but on smaller tires, and pretty much nobody has wheelie bars, so they do awesome wheel stands and cool stuff like that. And
that'll be fun to shoot.
There'll be a class of dragsters. They have a comp dragster class that runs with them too.
Yep, a little bit of mixture of combinations there.
And you'll have Mountain Motor Pro stock also. It's like Pro Nitrous cars, just without the giggle gas.
Yeah, of course. There's one race in particular though. It's not even a race; it's a qualifier. But we're looking forward to that Friday night Q3. Your Battle of the World Series of Pro Mods champs. Let's take a trip back. Actually, about a month ago, on our show and see what happened there. I thought you guys got to choose how all that went down.
There is. Wes definitely suggests a few that he wants to see. Like he wanted to see Kurt and I from last year. I know he told a few people who he wanted to see run. So it's his show. So we all kind of oblige. But
yep.
There is definitely some legitimate call outs though.
Yeah. It's all about having fun. And try qualifying and see if you can't beat the guy you want to beat.
Yeah,
I want to see you two square off next year. That's my hope.
I'm ready for it. That'll be fun. Yeah. Two screw beers at night.
Yep, 2 winners of the World Series.
Yeah,
make it happen.
I'm sure we can make it happen.
Oh yeah,
they can make it happen in PDRA if it happens.
There we go.
Yay!
I'm sure we could talk Tyler into that.
Yeah, or to make sure we'd be in the finals at Galot.
There you go.
Spencer, are you going to Galot?
Yeah, I'm going to do Galot in Virginia. And then, unfortunately, I have conflicts on the 2 that are close to me, Norwalk and Martin, Michigan. So I won't be at either of those. And then I'll do Bristol and then the last 2 at Galot in Virginia. So
yeah.
I'm doing 5 of the 8.
I'm with this idea with Best Coordinator. I want to see this happen too. Will it be on Flow again?
Yeah, Flow will be there for sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
they do all the PDRA stuff.
Yeah, that needs to happen.
I'm quite sure we can make that happen.
That'd be awesome. Well, you guys, thank y'all so much for joining us. I mean, the rest of that clip will go up I think the long video form will go up tomorrow. I think it's 5:45. I've got it scheduled for the rest of that clip. But man, that still happened on our show, and you'll see whenever you watch the full clip of it. That race was made while we were live on air, and that was really, really cool, and I can't wait to see that.
I'm excited for you. It sounds like you're gonna have the red carpet sort of rolled out for you this weekend.
I talked to Spencer
to see it through your eyes, just to not, just tag along and see what you experience. I think you're gonna love it.
I'm excited. I talked to Spencer last night, and he said make sure that I come by and say hey, and I'm sure they're all going to be just as welcoming as we are with pulling. But
that's your chance to interview because Flow Racing is looking for pit reporters. So go.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Figure it out. I had somebody tag me in it, and I tell you what, I would be 10,000% interested in doing it if I didn't already have a full calendar for the summer.
I almost sent that to you before the show, but
I saw it. I'm definitely interested. But like I said, I've got days booked. It'd be pretty bold of me to back out now on guys I've committed to.
Yeah, but if you guys can't make it out there, it will be on Flow Racing, and who knows what's going to happen? We'll see.
Yeah, Flow Racing. So that race will happen Q3 Friday night.
Under the
lights of Benson, North Carolina, in the Pro Boost category. So
I can assure you I'll be watching from the tower at Orlando. It might be muted, but it will be on.
Yeah. No, that's going to be a lights out race. That ain't the only place that Pro Mod's racing this weekend. And we're going to transition over into the NHRA side of it as Pro Mod for the first time we go into Arizona.
Yeah. That'll be different for those guys.
How much is that going to interfere with the PDRA show?
How much what? I'm sorry.
How much will it affect the PDRA show with the Pro Mods being on NHRA side?
Oh, not a whole lot. Most of the NHRA cars are dedicated over there anyway. And if they run PDRA, they only do it when there's not a conflict. What I will be interested to see, though, is who travels, just because it is so far out to the West Coast.
The one that came up to me is Shelton. I wonder where they're going to go.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see them do a split where Stan goes to Phoenix and the other car stays on the East Coast.
That's what I wondered.
It wouldn't shock me the slightest.
No, not at all.
I know that Stan loves running the NHRA circuit, and running quarter mile has got to be a thrill.
Oh, and Shane, you found out something that we were wondering about during World Series of Pro Mod. Where were the Galat cars? And now we know.
I forgot where I never got told where they went. I just got told that they were sold.
Yeah.
I never got the full background story, but never know. Oh, hey.
Yeah, there's your answer.
Well, so much for that idea.
Yeah. I wondered what they would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. There's 20 cars on the list for Pro Mod in Arizona.
Is that?
Yeah, if I was a smart guy, I suppose I would have pulled that up and looked.
I only just took information from last night, so
we're just amateurs here, right?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be cool. It's cool that Phoenix is still going on. Thought it was gonna be over. Now it's Firebird Raceway Park. It's gonna be cool, and it's gonna be racing within a race too. Though they're doing the finals for the Winter Nats in the end of qualifying, and then they're doing the eliminations for Arizona after that.
Let's see. Mike Castellana, Kenny Q, Jose Gonzalez, the guy who doesn't like Mexican food, Stan Shelton, Chip King, Kevin Reibenberg, Paul Degrapont coming out. Hey, look at that. Billy Banaka, Sidney Frigo, Jason Lee, Khaled Belushi, Nick Janowick. Boy, there's a ton of them. Tony Wilson, Michael Stavrinos, the farmer Jason Scruggs, Mason Wright, Justin Bond, Mike Thielen, Dmitry Samarokov, and J.R. Gray.
Loaded.
Sounds like a heck of a lineup.
Yeah, loaded.
It's straight loaded. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mississippi Missile does it.
I would not be surprised either.
So yeah, that man does real good on the NHRA side of it and had completely dominated Norwalk last year.
Yeah.
So, well, should we get into our own motorsport now?
We've got some new things to show. So, I mean, you guys saw earlier today, I think it was around, it was sometime this afternoon. You guys saw this pop up on our page, the Simply Nastier hood. The Folks family bought the hood back. And this is the significance behind this one is this is the original Walking Tall hood still from whenever they had it back in the day. And I tried to get Ryan and them on, Austin, to join us, but it was just too short notice. But they sent me a really lengthy history of it. So they have the original A210 Ford diesel Walking Tall sheet metal that was ran the mid 90s till the 2000s. So the old Walking Tall diesel tractor.
Yeah.
And then after pushing the blocks past the limit with the diesel, it was decided to build an all new tractor. And in 2001, they built the 8970 New Holland alcohol version of Walking Tall that ran from 2001 to 2004, which I think is the one that I know the most. And then both of those, well, actually, it's both light super stocks that were campaigned back on what was called the Grand American Circuit. So would that have been, what would that have been, Charles? ATPA?
Late 90s up to 2005.
Okay. So what was the Grand American Circuit then? Was that
That was ATPA. That was Tom McConnell.
Okay. In 2004, they sold the tractor to the Bach family. They ran it for many years until Chris bought it. Then Hayden bought the rolling chassis. We bought back the sheet metal. Skip to today, we bought back a rear end and some other drivetrain parts. It will now be a light limited super stock alcohol that has a newer chassis with a brand new engine and using the 8970 sheet metal running with the Battle of the Bluegrass pulling series. They told me that they sent me a picture that they had bought back this hood a while ago. And I mean, I was really excited for that because I knew where it originated from. But man, this piece is just slick.
Yeah, if I'm maybe I'm misremembering this, didn't you know that they had the hood back at least back at ship?
Yeah, I did. They were really quiet of what they were doing with it. They would never flat out say.
Yeah, so when Chris Lenerud sold the tractor, like you said, the chassis went to Otto's, which now Otto is going to be light pro stock, so it's going to be one of the first component light pro stocks. It's got the 9600 hood work.
Oh, okay.
So that's that chassis. That's why he said Hayden bought it. Hayden Auto bought it, and then he sold the hood to Folks.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, so Chris Leonard bought it, I believe, from Bach, and then ran it for a couple of years. Then he had the opportunity.
It went away for a while though, too.
Yeah, Bach didn't drive it for a long time. Then Chris bought it. Had an opportunity to drive one of the modifieds from Walsh's. So yeah, Brent explains it right here. Bach ran it until 2012. From 2013 to 2019, it ran a couple times at the hometown hook in Dorchester, which is up by Pysigs and Kevin Lynn. Leonard bought it in 2020 and brought it out in 22. And ran half the season and sold to Minnesota, which then would make its way down to Hayden.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. I can't wait to see that tractor. I'm probably gonna get to lay eyes on that tractor. I figure it'll be done for their hook coming up at the end of the month, so I'm sure pictures will show up on that.
I just sent you Hayden the picture now at Otto's.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Yeah, it's in the
message. All right, go find.
Well, the hood work on that tractor was actually built down by you, Shane, down I think northern Tennessee, up by Clarksville.
Over in near Clarksville, Tennessee.
Yeah, somewhere in that area.
Well, Clarksville's not very far from my house at all.
Brad or
Bowen, that is.
Bowen builds hood work.
Yeah,
he
does.
Yeah.
He does some nice stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does.
So
did that pop it up on screen, or is it showing the stream still?
That's it right there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the Simply Nastier chassis with newer 9600 hood work.
Yeah, I think that's what that is.
It's 9600.
Yeah, so. And you know what? Those are hard to stretch and make them look right. That one looks right.
Yeah, it does. It looks awesome. And it's going to be component.
And that took, I can guarantee you, a long time to build.
Oh, I guarantee it.
So that's not the only component light pro stock we've been talking about, though. As of late.
No, but this one is actually one that I'm really looking forward to and everything because so how all this worked was Mr. Caleb Ogle actually got in touch with us. And so the original plan was to reveal the whole thing, but obviously that the pictures have kind of already been around. But so what we're going to do is that we're going to pick it up from where it is. Mr. Ogle's given us permission to take it from it being in the paint shop all the way up until it's ready to run now. So that's going to be something you guys can really look for on our page going forward. But here's the beginning stages of it. It's fresh out of the Ace Chassis shop right here. This is the day he went and picked it up, actually.
It's going to be it's a pretty rare piece because this is going to be the last full roller that Stinson's going to do.
Yeah, it is.
And it's pretty historical because being it's a component like pro stock.
Yep.
Yeah. He built this thing and he's ready to come back. I've been talking to him. Man, he's excited to be back.
And knowing Caleb, it's going to run like a Banshee.
Well, of course. It's Caleb. Yeah, man. So
the slight details on this thing too, even with the floorboard, it's one of a kind.
You want me to go to Ace Chassis Facebook so we can go through all of them? I just popped that one in there for our sakes.
Could do. I love the way that Mike has designed his mechanism for raising those hoods. It's just the first time I saw it, I was just like, that is effing brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hang on. I got to figure out how to work a computer.
There's a whole lot of things happening in the polling world, building wise, tractors returning. There's one super stock. I'm not going to say who it is running again.
Oh, how come you're going to tease people like that?
Depending on what time of year it is, that description would apply to just about all of them.
This is true.
This one
is really true.
Well, the tractor has, let's just say the guy that told me it is our age, and he hasn't seen it run in 7 years when he was 11. The last time it ran out here was, I think, either Toma or Bowling Green. Alcohol super stock. So do that information with what you will.
Alcohol super stock.
Mm-hmm.
Is there one you haven't told me about?
Where is Caleb's old chassis? Wouldn't that be?
That is
Hackstats.
Yeah, that's Hackstats 4-1. Yeah, this was a beautiful touch. If I can find one of just the floorboard, well, I guess that's it. This whole area here is awesome. But yeah, man, that's going to be the new red light district. I'll actually get a chance to see that thing run for the first time as long as it's done in Paris, Missouri, whenever they hook out there. I'll be announcing that show for them, and I'll get to see the first run on it. And hopefully Auto's Light Pro.
Hopefully they get them done.
I hope so. Helmet.
Always a challenge.
Yeah. Ryan told me to let everybody know Bluegrass Pulling Series kicks off at Falmouth. I don't know if it's Falmouth or Falmouth, Kentucky in 4 weeks. So April the 27th is when their season's going to kick off.
I suppose it depends if you're in the South or New England, how you say it.
This is true. Mason-Dixon line, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Or as my buddy Dave Foltz, who lives in Brooksville, Kentucky, calls it, whether you're north or south of the idiot ditch, referring to the Ohio River.
Straight up.
I can appreciate that one. Yeah, but that's not all of the events going on this weekend. USA Pullers is kicking off their season. Halls, Tennessee. That event is really cool because it's in the middle of an airport. Like on the runway, the track is actively on a runway. So
Really?
There's parking for absolute miles. It's great.
That's kind of neat.
It is. And that's not the only pool like that there either. Down in Lexington, Tennessee, same thing. It's at an airport. It's really cool. I kind of want to go find a picture of that now.
The The old Sparta, Michigan track used to be at the municipal airport. It was just different because the runway stayed active while we were there, which kind of baffled me. We weren't on the runway, of course, but I mean, we were on the property. It was different.
Oh, that's I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Well, I mean, it was just Cessnas. They weren't 747s or anything.
Yeah, still. Yeah, Bradley, that's right. Brad Pell's little tractor's coming back out too, the red one.
Yeah, I saw Cut Loose.
I'm excited for that one. That's
I used to love that tractor years ago. I really
it's on our page too, I think.
It's got a new chassis under it.
Yeah, I always wonder what happened to that chassis, and then all of a sudden it just popped up out of nowhere.
I don't think they ever sold it. I think it just got bulldozed into a corner of the shop.
Yeah. Man, that blue one they've got, though, it runs hard, just as hard, too.
Oh, yeah. Sure does. All their stuff does. They don't – Powell's don't drop trailer ramps to screw around.
No, they do not. Nobody on that Battle of the Bluegrass circuit does, for that matter. Oh, yeah, we had another mini reveal this last week, too, out of I think it was Kansas, right?
Yeah, it was Logan Stevens, the Wheeling Express mini edition.
Yeah. All of this has just happened since our last show, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
there'll be a new look for Dusty Price's Bacon Bits. I've seen a rendering. It's not done yet, but there'll be a new look for him coming.
Mm-hmm.
Charles, I'm curious, what color, or can you say what color?
I'm not going to say what colors. I'll say the body's going back on it.
Ooh.
By the way, do you recognize the injector hat that's on that mini rod?
Put it back up there.
Should I?
Possibly.
Was it a bore hammer? I don't remember.
It's Janice, I believe. Put it back up, Shane.
I'm working on it. Don't yell at me.
Yeah, Brent Notorious is coming back on. That's going to be freaking cool.
Oh, yeah. It's a Jansen.
Yeah. So what made them change their...
Actually, is that a Janus or is that the SSI copy?
Zoom in.
You sure about that?
Zoom in on it. You can probably tell. Looks like this.
I mean, the S. Oh.
It's got an SES badge on the hat.
Yeah.
They're pretty darn hard to tell apart, and I know Mike Chance was not very pumped when those came out from SSI.
Right.
Yeah. What made them change their setup from the hat that they had on there before with the 3?
The 2. It's not gone.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
It's not gone. All I can say is there's more coming.
Oh, boy. So that means we're going to have even more.
So,
by the way, the people that are listening to this later, this is going to be absolutely terrible because you guys are going to have absolutely no idea what pictures we're even looking at.
Yeah, if you listen, that's the one downside of them.
If you listen to it, we have any other topics we want to cover tonight? Oh, hey, Chris.
Oh, hey, there he is himself. I'm like, is my old metal going to be a light limited? It is. It is. I'm sure he's seen the picture because he's been tagged about a bajillion times today.
Yep, it's on Fox's.
Yeah. Adam said just what we need, more minis. You can never have enough of those, Adam. Come on now.
They spring up like weeds.
They really do. You just never know where they're going to be.
You get a mini, and you get a mini, and you get a mini.
Man, this show's absolutely flowing.
If there's a mini distribution system, I would like to know how that works because I want one.
Yeah.
You couldn't pay me to get on one. I'll watch them. You couldn't pay me.
I'll drive the hell out of one. The only one I will not get on is I will not get on anything that comes out of West Michigan.
That is fair.
Bruce's and Tyler's. No, sorry, no thanks. I'm good.
I don't want anything of what they drive or nor what they drink because it's a lot.
They've been going crazy this week.
I'll warm it up. I'll sit there and warm it up, but I'm not taking it down the track.
No, absolutely not. No. Oh yeah, the new design that the new chassis Adam Kester designed it. That ran at Matt's. That thing looks sweet. Didn't have a body on it or anything.
He did have a new deal, didn't he? That's right.
Yeah, he's sitting a little lower, a little further forward. He's not sitting as
Modern
far
machine
back.
type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't remember seeing how well
there's
it did. It ran good.
There's a lot of things changing. I mean, Bollingers with the twin 8s on both engines.
How did we almost forget that?
I didn't forget it.
That thing is wild.
So, Charles, what is that going to look like? I mean, I've never.
Well, there's pictures of it.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like as far as power to the track. Is it going to burn the tires off potentially? I mean, is it going to be so much power it won't go straight in? I mean, what's it going to do?
I don't think so. I think it's still going to be behind the V8s, but
it's two engines compared to them running 3 and 4 Hemis.
Yeah, the factory Allison supercharger just doesn't get it done. At the end of the day, it's the reason why the European guys now are hand making their own designs and doing something. They've gone completely away from the original factory housings, and I think over here guys have had different wheels in them over the years, but it's such a limited design. And going to this, I think it's more complicated, but there's an efficiency to be had there. And they're not the first to do it. The Gators team in Europe put some, I think, 1471s, one a piece on Allison's over there. And the light
aren't they Rolls Royce?
Are they Rolls? I thought they were Allison's. They just have the collector style exhaust.
I could be wrong, but I thought they're Rolls Royce. But they were pretty much the first ones to do it. And I think a lot of what success that comes from the Green Monster team is having that EFI option too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show my ignorance here. What purpose does the blower serve being 4 of them instead of just the 2? Besides supplying all the air.
Matching cubic inches. You know, they're 871 superchargers, which on a regular tractor, it's going to be sitting on 550 cubic inches. Well, they got to feed 1,710. So you need 2 to get the volume.
Okay. So what's that going to do to the sound? Is it going to sound absolutely weird? Is it going to sound like it always has?
I think it'll be a bit more crisp sounding, and you'll have a different blower. You'll have the blower whine instead of the.
I want to hear the wildest. I want to hear the wildest sound ever.
Yeah.
I think it's just cool. There's more than one engine configuration coming. So.
Yeah.
And yes, we knew about this before they announced it, and we couldn't say anything.
Yeah. That was kind of one of those, like, man, I really don't want to keep this one under wraps. It's that cool.
We're both wrong. I thought they were Allison's. They're Rover Meteors. They're actually a lot smaller engine.
Oh.
The Meteors are only 771 cubic inch.
Is that why they can run like modified?
Yeah, that would explain it. Well, I mean, Green Monster team gets 2 Allisons into the light, and there's at least 2 others that I think that do as well.
Yeah, Rick
Kipley
built a set years ago for blowers on an Allison.
I can believe that.
That's new.
Adam Deckard is the 3-engine Midnight Motorsports mod April Fools.
Where is it? Where'd that comment go? I lost it.
Which one?
The one that you just said. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. That was a photo opportunity in Corzine's shop.
Yeah.
They took it and they made everybody believe it.
After the Mini, some people would believe it, and I think for good reason.
There is a mini rod over in Europe also with a Rover Meteor with looks like a 671 Mooneyham on it. Interesting.
I'm surprised with Green Monster. They aren't making blocks by now. This is true.
Yeah, if you watch the shop tour that Sasha did, I believe it's blocks and something else is the only things they don't make in the engines anymore. They make everything in-house.
Yeah, they're doing everything else.
Yeah, they actually ran an indoor pool over there in Europe. Forgive me if I mispronounce, but I call it Putin.
Yeah,
maybe
indoor
Putin. Yeah. Now, you want to talk about a show that was fun to watch. That was fun. They had literally everything you wanted.
And that was the first time they did anything of that sort for an indoor live stream, too. And I would give them credit. They did very well.
Man, they had it down. And here was the really fun thing I really liked, though, is that the announcers were wired in already. They were talking to the crowd in whatever language is prevalent there, I assume. But they were also talking in English because they knew people were watching from around the world. Over 34,000 people watched that. It was so cool. You had literally everything from farm stock tractors to super stocks to mods. It was awesome.
So was it the actual track announcers or was it, I think.
Yeah, actual track announcers.
Oh, okay. I didn't know, because I know I've seen some of those others where the commentary is usually it's Sasha and somebody else. I don't know the fellow's name.
Isn't Sasha, doesn't his go through WWP TV?
Yeah.
So this was on a YouTube channel. I actually don't know the YouTube channel, but I think they were using it as like a just a testing place. And
I know he's talked about like this summer. I guess they're he's kind of ramping that up into something else now.
Well, and right now that him and another person run the Floating Finish YouTube and social media pages. That's where a lot of the live streams come from. Before Floating Finish did a lot of the championship series over there, like at the end of the season in Great Eccleston, United Kingdom, and then Brande, the European Championships. They did both of those, so it's become more and more often that they're doing it.
That's a lot of. It's a big list to go over there for a hook. They're
getting a lot of international attention.
Yeah, in 2027, things forbid that I'm planning on going over there for my day power weekend over there. I'm already planning on it.
Yeah, I'd love to go see any of it. I really don't care anywhere.
Yeah, I would.
I just want an excuse to go back to Europe. I mean, it's been 25 years since I was there. I'd love to go.
I've never been outside the United States, so that's going to be weird for me as a whole.
It's awesome over there. It really is.
Like Cody said, jealous of Adam Drought right now. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Adam Deckard says Bauer Superstock. Is that a fact? Yes, absolutely.
Yes, it's a fact.
Yeah. it's the eternal work in progress, though. It's going to be the tractor that 4 years took to build.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Four-wheel drive tractors are awesome to watch. I will say though, like towards the end of the show, or not even towards the end of it, the modifieds and the supers, it was so slick on the starting line, like they would just spin, like they couldn't go anywhere. The way they work a track's a little bit different too. They have bigger tractors grading the track the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like their tracks are generally, how do I want to say this, softer and muddier than what we do over here.
Yeah.
Not all the time. I mean, I don't want to broad brush it, but a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, I don't know what it was. It didn't seem to really, it seemed to turn into a highway.
Yeah, it did. Man, Zangstra's tractor still runs just like it did whenever it was over here, though. Wow.
Zangstra, Hurricane team was very impressive.
Yeah. I would love to figure out a way to get, I know of the time difference, but I would love to get somebody from over in Europe here over on our show sometime.
Well, we'd have to do it during the day, something just it won't be live. We just have to record it.
Pre-record it, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really
I'll talk to Christoph.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, anything else we want to talk about? Any other news? Any other headlines we need to really?
Nothing off the top of my head, but I mean, minus that we are really, really close to 6,000 people following us. We're only 2 people away. Just shameless plug there. I can't help it. It's
everybody watching, share it around, get more people to watch this thing live, bring in questions, topics you want us to talk about. A lot of variety.
Yeah.
I would say tonight's been the most variety we ever had.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's fun to do random shows though once in a while. Just maybe even no guests, and you just have a conversation. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Adam, I appreciate that. Oh, so seeing Adam's name, that actually reminded me of an event that's going on because of all the chatter that we've been having amongst ourselves. I mentioned Halls, Tennessee this coming weekend. April the 13th, Litchfield, Kentucky. They're having a heck of a show. A lot of farm stocks, but farm stocks aren't the only thing they're having. They're having 9,500-pound hot farms, light limited supers, 2 6s, and 3 Os. They're all going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know I'm going.
And it's for a good cause, too.
Yes, it is. It's benefiting the hospital.
Local children.
Children, yeah, benefit. Yeah, last year we had the Chop Top 40 from Indiana come down. We had Maston come down. They all brought their tractors. Our local guys here came. Mr. Ricky Heath is, of course, going to be on the mic. And Bo Simpson that operates Southern Express sleds, he's going to be on the mic again. So that's automatically going to be a lot of fun. But you guys see all the classes here. The mini trucks are going to be there. So I'm going to guess we're going to have about 25 of those because that's kind of their home area. But yeah, light limited supers, hot farms, they're all going to be there. 2 6 and 3 O's. And then 9,500 pound hot farms are there up there on the top of the sheet. So that's going to be a great cause. We're going to be out there filming. It'll be a lot of fun. And the class order is going to be running heavy to light. So we're going to click them off and nobody's going to have to put weight on throughout the night.
Like
Absolutely.
it.
I do too. And then we have USA East's season. They sent me their flyer. I think it's coming up May.
Early May. It's Wheatland's Bowl, isn't it?
No, it's later May, I think. Yeah, it's the first one there at Wheatland's place. Yeah, May 24th and 25th. There at Wheatland's place. USA East Power or Pull-Off Productions. They will all be co-sanctioning there. Sounds like we will most likely come down as well. Looking forward to it. I know Adam Wilson's going. I know Mr. Brian Lively's going. Thurston's going. Bradley Sturgeon's going. I imagine Mr. John Murray will be there because that's not too far from the house. We'll be there. So, I mean, there will be plenty of media coverage from that pool.
It'd be fun to go down there, but that's a bit of a drive.
I know somebody from Canada that's coming. Come on now.
Well, yeah, but I'm also going to Florida this weekend. I'm going to North Carolina in 2 weeks. So I think I'm going to hit the backside no prep drag race that weekend up here instead.
Yeah. MTPA having a pool the 12th and 13th in Livingston. Yeah, I think that's the benefit for Shriners, if I'm not mistaken. They have a bunch of good stuff there. Brett Yarn says, I'm going garden tractor pulling this weekend, followed by round dirt track racing right after. Nice.
Ryan.
Bruce. He couldn't leave it alone. So, okay. All that aside, that generally piqued my interest because I've never heard about that or seen it until I saw a picture of it from Louisville so many years ago.
It was great in theory. At least the original execution.
Yeah. So that was another thing that the European pool did really well. It seemed like they were able to take that smoke out there so quickly. And if you go into the venue's page, they show them installing all of the fans that were sucking it out the whole time. That was interesting.
Yeah, if the building's designed for it, I mean, I'm sure there's a way to make that work and still be able to blow smoke in the building. But
Bluetooth smoke, too. April Fool's joke, just the wrong day. Yeah.
You guys, for everybody listening, Ryan Rusink made the comment Bluetooth smoke tube. Do with that as you will.
Siri, connect my Pro Stock.
I like it.
God.
Man, this weekend's going to be fun. This weekend's just the kickoff of the season, man.
Yeah, it's here. It's here. And we're going to blink. We're going to turn around. It's going to be mid-October. Where did that all go?
Yeah, it will. I might be getting to lay eyes on a new light super this weekend, too. Well, I guess we'll see whenever I'm in North Carolina. So,
wink.
Like the completed version of it, anyway.
I guess well, no, I bet it's still sitting in.
I think that lives. I think that lives in the other shop.
Well, that sucks. I'll see the mini nonetheless. I bet.
Yeah, you'd see the mini.
Yeah. If there's time, I don't know what time they start on Saturday. I don't want to miss eliminations. That's for sure.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Brent said it's not done.
Anybody that wants any guests or what do you say, recommendations or ideas that want us to do? I mean, we've had different ones on a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
Maybe we can try and throw something out there. Maybe.
Yeah, whoever, like, you guys don't be afraid to shoot us a message on Facebook or Instagram, either one, or shoot us a message on whatever we're on, whatever you guys have us on. We'll answer it. We'll look at it. Nothing else. We might say we're going to think on it a little bit, make it a schedule. But
hell, we had Gardner and Roberts before.
Yeah, there's we're still working on a bigger one on, or not. I shouldn't say bigger. That's totally disrespectful. We're working on another cool one. I'll put it that way.
Ryan, we'll get to the professional underwater basket weavers in the same week that we do the show with the professional underwater poodle punters.
Have no idea what that means.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just ridiculous.
Not supposed to mean anything.
No dogs.
Oh yeah, Midwest Water Nationals completely slipped my mind with all the other stuff that we had going on. I don't want to say it's confirmed, but it was in the release that they put out that the intention is to go back to Shipshawana for 2025.
Yeah.
If I read that correctly.
Yeah, and there's some rules revisions that came out of the meeting as well, with the exception of the V8 hot rods. There's still a conversation that needs to be had there, and that's going to be kind of messy, but it's got to get sorted sooner rather than later.
Yeah, if I read that right, component light pros are going to be allowed.
Yeah, and I didn't attend the meeting, but I think the logic behind it was, Clint runs the PPL Western Series. PPL said they're going to allow it. It's coming. There's no way around it. I mean, it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like it, but I don't have to like it, and I don't have a horse in the race either. So.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well,
got anything else?
That's everything I've got on my mind.
That's it for tonight for me, I think. Waiting to step on a plane tomorrow and go have some fun.
Yeah, I'll step on one Friday morning. I think I fly out about 10 o'clock, so I'll get down there about 12:30 or so.
Nice.
Just in time for Q3.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Check it all out.
Yeah, give me some time. But as far as the next show goes, y'all, I think it's going to be the 17th. We don't really know if we might have some things lined up by then. We'll see. But just stay tuned and stay glued to the page. If you haven't followed already, go follow it. It helps us out more than anything. And right now we need everybody's help that we can possibly get from everywhere we can. So without you guys, we don't exist. And without you guys, we don't have these shows anymore. So we are super, super excited for the future and what's coming. Charles, no sidetrack tomorrow night, right?
No, because I will be at the airport.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I guess I take that back. I mean, I don't know if the other three want to do one. They're more than welcome to, but I'm not going to be on it.
Yeah. Support your independent motorsports media 1,000%.
Fight the good fight, people.
Keep fighting the good fight. We're here to stay. We ain't going nowhere. I can promise you that. But until next time.
I say we stick a fork in this one.
Yeah. Until next time. We'll see y'all later.
All righty.